are leaders as well, not just youth leaders, not just leaders for tomorrow, but leaders right now, capable leaders who are able to bring in innovations. And those innovations come from what we know, what we experience, because young people also come from different sectors. We come from the academia, we come from the science and technology industry, we come from farming communities, we come from rights movements, civil society, and we are equally as capable for our age. And we know the climate crisis we have lived in. And for me, I am a humanitarian program manager in one of the most disaster prone, if not the most disaster prone country in the world. So I think that says a lot about recognizing the youth voice, youth leadership in terms of disasters and climate crisis. We are reminded not to look at young people because we are young, but because of what we are able to bring to the table. And how can we bring our capacities and our experiences, our hopes, our rage, and our compassion if we don't have access to the table, if we aren't able to participate in the decision making. So of course, as a young person, as a young woman, I experienced different layers of exclusivity and not having those access. But I think those are things that I have to fight for, uh, given that I know that my experiences, that I know that my ideas are based on concrete realities that are happening on the ground. My ideas are based on truth, are based on science and facts. So I have something to bring to the table, and my voice is something that needs to be heard, especially when dealing with this climate crisis. I have witnessed lots of solutions from the ground, and it is something that I hope to bring in to this space. My hopes are simple but not easy. It is simple in a way that my hope is for truth to come out of these negotiations. And what I mean by truth is the climate realities. Because what is happening inside is that decisions are being made by people, most people who have not experienced the climate crisis as we are experiencing it back home in the Philippines. We are in an emergency situation. We are in a chronic situation of survival, and we are experiencing disaster one after another. And the ones who are experiencing it right now are not the ones who are making the decisions right now. So I want to bring that to the table. I want to bring those stories, that truth, that climate reality here in this space. Yeah, so right now the Philippines is experiencing 4 typhoons in just 1 week, 7 typhoons in under a month. That is not, for a disaster prone country, this is not still usual for us. We are not used to this, and we do not deserve this. And I am here in Baku thinking of my family, thinking of my friends, and thinking about the emergency situation, the communities who have just survived one disaster and is preparing for another. So it's really easy for me to be hopeless. I think it is valid to be hopeless, but it is not the right thing, and it is not what it is not what is needed right now. What is needed is for us to hold on to hope. And for me, I find hope in the people's resistance. Back home, people are used to receiving aid in the form of those tiny relief packs, and people would call that climate solutions. Peop, uh, People like us would hear climate crisis. We discuss the climate change. We see it in the news, but nothing is happening. And I find my hope in the people's resistance against inaction, people's resistance against false solutions, and people's resistance against lip service. And seeing it from the ground in our communities, people resisting corruption, people resisting destruction of our environment. And I am seeing it right now here in Baku, how the young people, the civil society are asserting their spaces in order to be heard. So that is my hope. Even though my hope comes from resistance, which is such a has a negative connotation, but I acknowledge that that kind of resistance comes from indignation from all the injustices that they are experiencing, and it also comes from love and compassion with one another. So I hold on to that resistance. As long as one person is resisting this climate injustice, then I am hopeful.